It's not the length of your paper, but the length of your life. And as long as you live, live as long as you can. Can I live? This is
So
life
what's
full
up?
as
This
a
your boy Mo
man, and
MIL
it's
here
nice.
on the How to Monetize podcast, 24streaming.tv. I got Never Rich Enough NREL on the line here. L, welcome, man. Tell us about yourself.
What's up, now? Welcome. How y'all doing, man? I go by NRE Ill, formerly known as Ill. I live and learn. ILL. I live and learn. Most definitely, right now, eternal life. As I go through my spiritual journey in life, and when I just understanding, that we never rich enough. We can never be rich enough to understand that our life is bigger than the monetary system.
Perfect. I like that, and that's good. You're my first guest on this as far as like outside of my circle, and it's
Hmm.
perfect because it helps. This is just good. Like not just about money, but how we need money to operate.
Most
But the
definitely.
fact that your message, some of the stuff that you guys share with me about your goal or your mission with your music and your content
Hmm.
and everything. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
So I start rapping at the age of 7 years old. I made my first rap, and it was really just a scapegoat because I came. From, I'm. Let me start off by saying I come from Detroit, Michigan, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Um, and I just use music as a scapegoat. Living in a house full, house full, 20 people to one houses to one house. Sorry about that. And
That's all right.
just really just picking up the pen and pad to navigate through whatever stresses that I had. I never did want to do drugs or alcohol or nothing like that. So, my scapegoat was music. I just fell in love with music, most definitely.
Perfect. Perfect. So I'm just going to go through the questions, man. We kind of covered the first one, but here's, we're going to go down the line here. So, who are your biggest influences on your sound, and how have they shaped your approach to creating music?
When I first listened to E40, it was real big. Just hearing E40 and like
The
I know a
uncle,
lot of younger people from the younger generation. They won't say that they not that's not a fan favorite for my generation to say E40. But when
right?
I first really, to be honest, going through life, I had plenty times where I was homeless, and my dad, he was incarcerated, and he had reached out to my granddad to send us out of state, and we went out of state with my uncle, which I didn't know my uncle was famous, and it turned out to be that my uncle was Ant Banks, D. Ant Banks, and I didn't know he was
Bro.
famous. So
Okay. All right.
that was
It's
that was
all
real
starting to come
big.
together because I can hear a little bit of sugar
Yeah.
free. I hear some sugar
Uh huh.
free in the flow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was like, this
Yeah.
guy had to have some West Coast in his veins,
Yeah.
man.
Most
'Cause I'm from the
definitely.
West, man. I love it. And Banks.
Yeah.
Okay. So Too Short. You
Yeah.
probably met
So
Too Short.
I had no chance to meet True Story. I stayed with my uncle in Chandler, Arizona, and I
Okay.
started seeing plants in his house, and I seen the plant in his house with Tupac music he produced for Tupac,
Yep.
Too Short, and
Yep.
then he broke it down to me, and then from that moment I just fell in love with music. And West Coast, a lot of people
Okay.
don't know, but West Coast is a big influence on Detroit sound, like real big influence.
Okay. All right. That's good to hear, man. Yeah. So, I mean, that's right. I'm kind of like that early 2000s nephew. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
the first producer I worked with, he got us a distribution deal with a Solar Music Group, and
Hmm.
they were based out of basically like Vallejo. It wasn't like Vallejo specifically, but it was in that area. And
Hmm.
this was like late '90s. I was in high school, right? So I ended up meeting a lot of those cats. I never met Ant Banks,
Hmm.
but I'm real familiar with all of California, and a few cats in Portland, of course Seattle. I'm in
Hmm.
Washington State, so that's good to hear, man. So the next thing was, can you talk us through your creative process, and do you have any like, I hate to use the word rituals, but like rituals or habits that help you get in the zone to create?
Well, most definitely with me, it won't be alcohol. It won't be marijuana. It'll be real experiences. When I started Never
Okay,
Rich Enough, it was a real meaning behind it. And rituals for me is just my pain. I'm pain driven. So if I'm in a good mood, that's what motivated. A lot of people got to get back to wherever the move carry you, not a substance. You feel me? Because these things is put out here to destroy us. The alcohol. They make alcohol, but they also create ATF at the same point. So I'm not with the
Right.
drug use. So I'd rather just go in there off pure feelings, and wherever my feelings got me, I can be going through a heartbreak, and I just want to be real within my emotions to be able to produce that on paper.
That's love. Yeah, I like that. And then, that's like you said, the alcohol. I mean, I've done more than my share of drinking, and
Hmm.
but there's a reason why they call them spirits, right? Like
Most
that's
definitely.
real. We, you see things, substances,
Hmm.
that's a whole nother show. But
Most
yeah, that's
definitely.
I like that. So all
Yep.
right, so the next one is what's the story or message behind your latest release, and how do you hope the listeners will connect with that one, the latest release?
The latest release that I just put together was a 12 project. I want to say 13 if I'm wrong, but they can check it out. It's on YouTube. NRE ill like it was yesterday. Just a
Like it
quick
was yesterday.
project I put together just to show I can do it. Like it was yesterday was just really the feeling of music still being alive. I don't agree with Nas, even though Nas is one of my favorites. I don't know. Hip hop is not dead. It's still here. It's just in a different
Yeah,
form. And if we can juggle around all the forms and put it into one bottle, we can have something beautiful come out of that bottle.
nice. Yeah, I feel what you're saying. So okay, so next is how do you stay authentic? You kind of already touched on this really, but how do you stay authentic navigating the business side of music?
Just understanding that with the business side that you have to do everything. If I'm gonna go work for a company and follow all their policies and their rules and stuff, I know that I have to follow the music policy, which is making sure that my music, my beats is exclusive rights on. I'm not playing a game of YouTube beats. Making sure that I pay for my music videos. And really, right now, like I say, business wise, I'm not looking for a label, but I wouldn't mind it. But right now, it's more independent than anything because me doing
Yeah.
90% of the work myself, being a videographer,
Okay.
producer, just doing a lot of stuff myself. Even with the video right there that's on screen, it's a video I shot myself. I went to Texas, set up my camera, and did it myself. I'm a DIY person. Like do it
I like
yourself,
it. Yeah.
and you can get the
No,
job
I
done.
respect that. I respect that. No, and I can tell that you put in a lot of hours, and it really shows. So, with
Thank you.
that, spin-off question on that one, you mentioned, Aunt Banks being your uncle. Did you ever
Mhm.
reach out to him for any, or did he give you any gems on like, what to watch out for as you got offers from labels or people coming and trying to steal your rights for your creations, things like that?
Had all the questions. I came back to Detroit. Dad, which is my manager, also that's been navigate me through things because he grew up on the music scene. So he's been telling me what to look for, the do's and the don'ts, and understanding publishing, writers and composers and everything.
Right on, right on. So, are there any books that you've read that have sparked your music creation?
Nothing but music theory books when I was jumping into making beats because like I said, I wanted to really stuff a lot of stuff in my bag so I can have as much as finances to put towards like promoting and stuff. So I read a
Yeah,
lot of stuff about music theory and whatnot to learn how to make beats on FL Studio. I am Fruity Loop, driven. Sorry,
I
Beat
got you.
Machines,
Yeah,
but
okay. So you're just
yes,
getting educated, music theory all the way to the technical stuff, right?
yes, yes, correct.
I got you. Okay. All right. So, what role do you think social media, digital platforms play in shaping the careers of artists today? Because you and I
It,
talked on the phone. You mentioned that you're also from the era of coming out the trunk with some hard copies.
so,
So, but let's
so
talk
with
about the
with
social
that
media
being
thing.
said, play it play whatever artist to the smallest artist, and it's really whatever you have in your heart. Social media is just it's just a tool. If it's shut down today, what are we going to do? Is we still going to pump and make sure the world know who we are? So I'm a big fan of the out the trunk. That's the definition of never rich enough. Never rich enough to pick up a phone and lose your phone and
Gotcha.
feel like you lost your whole life. So social media don't play no role.
Yeah, you can't live like that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I
Yeah,
like that. Yeah. So the last question here is, what's next for you? Any upcoming projects, collaborations, general goals that you want to share with your fans that they have the opportunity to watch this podcast? What do you want to leave them with?
I want to. I don't want to leave them. I want them to walk with me. I want to go back to where we all walk side to side and going through the journey together and understanding that we all one and just really navigate with each other. Like get to the point where, like I told you, once every the time it's presented, I want to come out there and really link with you and do music with you. I heard some of your and when I saw you know,
Nice.
just
No, I like that. Yeah, and
stand
I like what you said
and
about don't leave them. Don't leave them because it is a journey. Yeah, you got to have that. You got to have the interaction, and it would be
yeah.
awesome if you could come out here and meet my crew.
Mhm,
I have music spanned from a lot of years, man. Some of it's not released, but you know how that goes. We got through the questions. Want to kind of talk about things that artists do to make money. You mentioned that you want to have as much in your tool bag, but then also like resources so that you can do marketing to get exposure to new
mhm,
groups of people and network and travel and do those things. So
mhm.
this is kind of a new question, but like, what kinds of things do you think you've already done to help maintain having that little whatever those resources are, whether it be money, travel vouchers, connections.
Mhm.
What are a few things that have worked for you? I guess.
Okay, the main thing that worked for me was being on the scene, meeting them key people that's behind the scene. Because every state, every city have what you call promoters, gatekeepers, whatever you want to call them. You have
Yeah,
these group of people that if they see you putting the work in, the XYZ in, they're gonna assist and help, and they're gonna support your vision. So we done had times where we got on tours with an artist named Doobie. He got over 11 million. I also have a son, Rich Boy, from Alabama,
I got you.
and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
definitely putting the groundwork in. I say put the groundwork in, and the money gonna come. It'll come whether it come in small increments or big increments. As long as it come, you know it's a reality and you know that it works.
that's real. And I've been on all sides of that.
Hmm.
I've been an artist. I've been a venue owner. I've been a talent
Hmm.
buyer. I've managed tours. So I know exactly what you're saying. That's one of the reasons why I started promoting buying talent and bringing talent to my local area was because I had a label and I realized that geographically we were in a spot where the tours were driving right by us. We got a geo metro area of like 300,000 people that are not
Hmm.
being serviced. So it's been about, I was really doing it hard, about 10, 12 years ago. And then I
Hmm.
bought a nightclub and it kind of took me into being grounded and not having the same, it was different. It's different when you can book an event twice a month versus
Hmm.
every night of the week. Because if you, as a venue owner, I had a stage. So I was like, okay, I was excited to buy a venue with a stage, but then it was like, dang, I got to do some country, some blues,
Understand?
some jazz, and I
Hmm.
have to keep that calendar full because you can't exhaust as in that group, right? You can't exhaust your customers, your patrons, right? Because they're only going to go to a hip hop show maybe once a month, right? And spend money
Most
at the bar
definitely.
and all those things. So
Hmm.
it's one of those deals where I had to learn how to get outside of hip hop, and it's bad in some ways but good in other ways because I've met
Hmm.
so many people through music and
Hmm.
people that I probably don't have anything else in common with. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful. Like you said, the journey. Doing it together. Um, and yeah, that's awesome. So all right,
Hmm.
well, I'm gonna try to play these videos and then I'll pause. I got little spots in between where you can talk to us, tell us about what your vision was for it or anything else.
Okay.
Before I leave my house, I put my pistol in my pants. 1911, but my brother got the 10. Bottles, couple showers, we got that arrow. Flint, the road too hot, but we still drove the states. Gotta move fast, don't never pump a brake.
All right. Yeah, that video, it was really me trying a different sound. It's a popular artist from this state called Baby Trying. So just really trying a different sound just to see if I can appeal to a different age group. So that was really my main goal behind that video in particular.
All right. The next one, I had to chop up the clips and put them all into one clip. So I don't have the
Okay.
names memorized of the videos. So I'm just gonna do this little countdown and then it's gonna play the next one. So
Okay.
here we go.
Playing like you love me when you don't. Gotta break even, not to losses by the boat. And they never gave a fuck how I reacted with a gun. It's the real fast nigga, better go and get you, son. Niggas had to run.
Yeah. So I was in Texas filming this. It's called Motion to Dismiss, and it was just
Okay.
me going out there putting a fire under my particular with the sun. I didn't really care too much for it, but I wanted to keep working. So out there, I was working at a job as a sushi chef. So I just went out there and like I got to do something. So I whipped my camera
I
on,
got
just
you.
fought the first song and put it on the
Okay.
speakers.
I like it. I like it. I like the
Thank you.
skateboarder too. That adds to,
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
was looking at it, I was like, man, they got skate parks in Detroit. This looks like
Yeah.
where I'm from.
Yeah.
Right on. All right, so I'm gonna try to skip it ahead here. Let's see what we get. This is my favorite video, man. I like
This my
this.
favorite too.
Take a look in my eyes, you can see the pain. All the hell I've been through, but I ain't never changed. Put your chips on the table, I'm the fire back. Them beer traps in the hood, you better watch your stat. I've been focused on the check, think Nike. The pole close, cause them niggas don't like me. Just like
Okay, so tell us about that video.
That video, one of my favorites, just like I, it really came off the jumpsuit. The jumpsuit was real cold in Detroit. And I just woke up,
Yeah,
like I say, putting a fire under my boots, going out to shoot a video, teaching the people that I'm around also, like I say, how to shoot videos.
yeah.
So I was teaching my cousin how to shoot videos, went around, grabbed the son, shot the video on my old school, the school that's closed now, but the doors was open. So
Okay,
went inside there and yeah, that was
nice.
definitely one of my favorites. When I like the energy on that song. I like what I was talking about. It was a tough moment because most of the people in my group, most groups don't last for long. So a lot of people from my groups left, and
Right on. That's good. Yeah. No, I like that one. I like the energy. I like the griminess of it.
mhm,
The Carhartt, cold working man. Like
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
OG boss shit right there. I
mhm,
like that. Yeah,
yeah. Thank you.
that's love. Okay. All right. Well, L man, I don't really have anything else right now. I'm gonna get to work chopping this
Okay,
up, and I just want to say, is there any last thing you want to stamp it with for the podcast? You and I are gonna talk some more, so
okay.
you know
Most definitely.
you and I will
I,
be
I
communicating.
just
But
want to
is
say
there anything
shout
else
out
for the
to.
podcast you want to drop?
I want to say shout out for having me. Thanks for having me. Streaming studio 24 hours. Tap in. I'm be looking forward to meeting you, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, it's love, man. And once we get this edited, posted up, you know, feel free shoot people my way, and
Okay.
I'll do podcasts with them. And L, I just want to say, I'm looking forward to more videos, diving deeper into what you got in the catalog, and
Mm.
it's good, man. I appreciate you too. Tell Mosan I said, it's love, and we worked it out, and
Yeah, thank
he was definitely instrumental. That's what's up,
you.
man.
all right
All
now.
right, thank you, bro. All right, well, I'm
We
gonna go ahead
appreciate.
and shut it down so I can get to editing. But y'all have a beautiful night. All right.
All right, you as
Thank you.
well.
Have a good one.
Before